How do you improve your golf game? You start by learning and maintaining a consistent, proper swing. That's why Mark Brooks, PGA Tour professional, developed and patented Swing Track. For the first time, any golfer, regardless of age or handicap, can feel a proper golf swing. Use Swing Track on the practice range and your muscle memory will give you dramatic results on the course. Use Swing Track. The pros do.
I think it's a device that'll help every player, even the pros.
And it really helped me to understand how important it is to keep your arms soft throughout the backswing and the downswing.
I've used the Swing Track, and it's been very beneficial to my game, and I really believe that it could help yours.
I recommend the use of Swing Track, along with consultation with your PGA professional.
To order your Swing Track and free video, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-321-7300. Call 1-800-321-7300 now.
Don, the Argonauts would consider it a bit of a payday at Skydome if they could come from behind in the second half of this game.
Well, the Argos, as you mentioned, Scott, unbeaten since that October loss on October 16th to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers a year ago. Joe, in the first half, the Calgary Stampeders played very well defensively, and it's always nice when you have a linebacker with the speed of Alondra Johnson.
Well, Alondra Johnson is one of those linebackers. He hits like a boxer, and he runs like a sprinter.
And when the ball popped away from receiver Darrell Smith and the hit by Ken Watson, Johnson was there to pick it up and rambled 53 yards for the major score.
Yeah, it's just a perfect pass. They put the ball in there. Darrell K. Smith catches the football, but then he is hit by Ken Watson. The ball is fumbled, and watch A.J. Johnson pick it up on a dead run. He goes 53 yards, and he covers it in about 4.4 seconds.
And apart from Johnson performing well defensively, I think Wally Buono will be very pleased that Danny Barrett was able to get into the ball game in the second quarter and put together a good drive.
Yeah, we saw Danny Barrett. He was hitting with the ball, used that bad finger, did all the things that you want to do, and then if it wasn't for that face mask that they missed, he'd have had a touchdown.
Calgary Stampeders lead the Toronto Argonauts as we get set for the second half here at Skydome.
Now you can get private messages from exciting singles who want you for phone talk, dating, and more. Just call this number and record your talking personal ad. Then see how many private messages you get. Plus, you can also hear personal ads from America's most romantic singles. There are hundreds of new callers every day, so call now and get private messages from exciting singles who want to connect with you.
Just $2 a minute, adults only. Coming on video cassette. It isn't easy getting a movie this big into a box this small. Arnold Schwarzenegger, T2, coming on video cassette. Ask your video store about purchasing previously viewed cassettes.
Don't dump in the storm drains. The beach is closer than you think. To help, call 1-800-HEAL Bay.
After 30 minutes of play, the Argos enjoy a slight edge statistically in most departments, but they trail by 7 points. Turnovers have been the difference. A fumble recovery that Alondra Johnson took 53 yards for a touchdown. Calgary has stuck basically with the passing attack. They've thrown it 21 times. There's been more balance in the Argo offense between their ground game and their passing game. Darrell K. Smith waits for it at the 22-yard line. He gets up to the 39, and that's where the Argos will scrimmage. 1st and 10, a 17-yard return after a 53-yard kickoff.
You know, the Argos show what kind of an athlete they've got when you put Darrell K. Smith as a kick returner. And the Argos are second in the league in giving up sacks. So that's what Ricky Foggy's got to rely on, that he's got the pass protection and he'll have time to get the ball out to his skilled people, unless they go to the single wing.
Talking to other players in the CFL, particularly those on the defensive side of the football, they said every time you play Toronto, you look at Ricky Foggy at quarterback, and it doesn't matter whether you just sacked him or whether he's throwing a touchdown pass, he's always smiling.
Yeah, and I think this is a key. It didn't look like Foggy had that same running ability that he normally has. Johnson came in and you know, he came in and really tied him up. As he plays off of Chris Schultz, Foggy starts to run, but he has to make a cut to the outside. That gave Johnson a chance to react, but Johnson's a great athlete in his own right.
He's number 2 in Calgary quarterback sacks. The number 1 man plays for the Toronto Argonauts. That's Harold Hallman. Hallman has a career total of 38. Laird and Will Johnson each have 35. From the shotgun formation, Calgary showing blitz. Here comes Peterson. They pick him up. Sideline pattern intended for Williams, incomplete. Carl Anthony was defending against him.
Well, that's what you usually see when it's a blitz. That was a free safety blitz. The receivers broke to the outside. Foggy tried to get it out to the sideline. The ball was too high.
The Argos have had some problems offensively in their last few games, and they are continuing this afternoon here at Skydome as Toronto attempts to clinch first place in the East. But at the moment, they trail Calgary by 7. Sapunjas, the lone man back for this third down punt. Here comes the pressure up the middle, but Olisic gets the kick away, and a good boot. It bounces away from David Sapunjas and will go out of bounds at about the 18 or 19-yard line. A 53-yard kick by Hank Olisic. Danny Barrett continues as quarterback for the Calgary Stampeders, and it's not often you see a quarterback wearing a glove on his throwing hand.
Well, what they're trying to do is to keep that splint in place, and like we said, those gloves are made out of the material where you can really grip the ball, so no problem.
First and 10 from the 19. Alan Pitts makes the reception. He's caught by Carl Brazeley. Scott?
Well, Don, I had a word with Danny Barrett as he headed onto the field, and he says the glove is to allow him a better grip on the ball because as the finger that was broken continues to heal, he's not able to grip the ball as firmly as he was prior to the injury. He admits he'd rather not be wearing the glove, and the splint is, of course, to protect the broken bone in the joint of his index finger that continues to heal. And, Joe, the palm of those gloves, tactified leather.
That's good stuff.
The pass was intended for Eric Mitchell. It was behind him. He got turned around by middle linebacker Prentice Wright. So the Stampeders are forced to send out the punting unit. And Eric Mitchell probably isn't totally familiar with the Calgary offensive scheme as he comes over to confer with John Huffnagel.
We watched Danny Barrett on film last week. Wally Buono showed us him on film. He looked like he gained confidence with every throw.
Mark McLaughlin with a third down punt to Pinball Clemens at the midfield stripe. This time nowhere to go. Clemens as he is surrounded by Davies and McVeigh.
Dodge Dakota Club Cabs come with our powerful new Magnum Series engines, plus $750 cash back. And when you buy the Super LE model, also come with nearly $2,700 in options. A 4-speed automatic, air, and more for no extra charge. Dodge Dakota Club Cabs, a powerful way to rediscover American value.
The grand poobah was begging for baby back ribs, so I said, sure. Well, first you gotta find the ribs, a recipe for the sauce. Would probably need a week in Acapulco just to recover from the mess. So I said, honey, get in the car, we're going to Love's.
For the special $7.99 Rib Tickler dinner, gold medal winning baby back ribs, crisp coleslaw, Love's barbecue beans, and fresh bread, all for only $7.99.
He loved it.
When you're in love, the whole world's delicious.
Argo co-owner John Candy watching the action this afternoon at the Skydome. Later this afternoon, Bruce McNall's horse, Bo Sultan, will be running in the Rothmans Limited International. We'll have that race for you immediately following the football game. Drop play with the pinball. He gets outside of Johnson and is stopped by Darrell Hall after a gain of about 10.
That's an excellent run by Pinball. He broke to the outside. Unfortunately, he's limping again. Play was well set up.
pinball was shaken up earlier in the football game, and he heads to the bench limping again.
Look at him delay, and then he sidesteps over, and he really accelerates coming outside.
J.P. Escuerdo into the ball game, replacing the pinball. Foggy is going to draw a penalty for deliberately throwing it away in the grasp of Will Johnson. Foggy was way back at the 45-yard line, and they're going to rule that he was grounded at that spot.
Grounding the football. Toronto number 14, second down.
On the sidelines, here's Scotto.
Don, somewhere in this shin they suspect is a broken bone, and that has Brent Maddich out of this game and then some for the Calgary Stampeders. When did it happen, sir?
The punt out of the end zone. It just it just rolled on it. Someone just rolled on it, and tried walking back. It was a little bit painful. And next punt, I kicked it, and I just turned on it. I just turned on it and cracked.
Okay, Brian, we got to go upstairs because something big just happened on the field, I suspect, Don.
Yes, something big for the Calgary Stampeders. Carl Anthony with the interception, bringing it back to the 25-yard line. And the Calgary Stampeders defensively have looked very sharp in the game this afternoon. Carl Anthony with his third interception this season.
You want to give Carl Anthony a lot of credit and a great return on the interception, but I'll tell you who you got to give credit to. That's Will Johnson, because Foggy, he couldn't even see where he was throwing. He couldn't release the ball the way he wanted to. That thing was a wounded duck. Watch Foggy. He can't follow through. Johnson put him down. Set up the interception. Nice return by Carl Anthony.
That takes the ball to the 25-yard line. First and 10, Calgary.
You got to wonder about this Calgary Stampede, the speed of that team on returns, any kind of return, interception return, and I know we always had interception returns. Will Johnson rushing the pass will get you some interceptions, and that's part of their playbook, an interception return.
Three receivers wide to the right. First and 10 from the 25 of the Argos. Calgary leading by 7 under the direction of Danny Barrett. Barrett throwing to the sidelines. He has a man wide open, and Eric Mitchell will pick up about 7, maybe 8 yards.
Well, nobody went out on Eric Mitchell. The coverage wasn't aware that Mitchell was going out to the outside. He's all alone out there. Finally, the defense had to react over to him. The linebacker probably didn't get out there to cover him one-on-one.
Second and 2. The ball is at the 17. Spallettini, the ball carrier, gets the first down at the 12-yard line of the Argos. Munford and Ford combine on the tackle. 10:07 remaining in the third quarter.
Well, Spallettini would probably be the ideal guy. If you put Rocky Marciano in a football uniform, he'd look like Tony Spallettini, because he hammered in there, didn't have anything, then he broke off to the outside and made it on just sheer determination.
Spallettini and McVeigh are both in the game now. Mitchell goes to the sidelines. First and 10. Barrett throws to the end zone. Touchdown, Carl Bland. Made the catch in front of Ed Berry as the Calgary Stampeders increased their lead to 13 points with 9:36 remaining in the third quarter.
Well, everything worked on that play. Danny Barrett dropped back. He saw Carl Bland break on the curl pattern, and watch Danny Barrett deliver. Tactified leather glove and everything. Bland is in on a curl. Caught the football for a touchdown.
Well, the Calgary Stampeders may destroy any plans the Toronto Argonauts had of a first-place finish, at least this afternoon. The point after by Mark McLaughlin. They now lead by 14 points. Scott?
Don, I suppose you'd call this gentleman the #1 fan of the Calgary Stampeders. He certainly has more on the line than anybody else. He's Larry Rickman, who will formally take control of the football team this week. But, Larry, they're already playing on your money.
Yes, there was a period of time that I had to put up some funds to carry the team through to the closing date.
And I would suspect you feel today the investment is worthwhile given the performance of your team.
These guys are phenomenal. This is phenomenal. And, you know, it just gets better every day.
You excited about the Stampeders assuming ownership with that great race for first out west and the prospects of this team going all the way?
Very, very much so. And I'm also thrilled with the prospects of the CFL in general. Everything's coming together. We now have eight strong teams financially. And, you know, the Stamps certainly are on top.
All right, Larry, thanks for your time and good luck in ownership of the Stampeders.
Thanks, Scott.
Don?
Larry Rickman, who will officially assume ownership of the Stampeders next week. First time since 1945, their year of inception, that the Stampeders have been anything but a community-owned team. The Rocket returns at 31 yards, giving Toronto a first down at the 42-yard line. Carl Anthony made the tackle. Carl Bland was on the receiving end of the touchdown throw from Danny Barrett, and he made a fine catch in front of Ed Berry.
Well, you saw the turn-back protection. They're throwing everybody to the outside, but he is catching that ball on the run, so Danny Barrett's got his arm back. Look at him. He's back. Danny Barrett is back and delivering the football.
Apart from the success the Stampeders are enjoying this afternoon, Coach Wally Buono has to be extremely pleased to get his #1 quarterback, Danny Barrett, back into the lineup and get him some game action. Foggy underthrows Masadi, and the fans react.
Well, the fans ought to be out there blocking Kent Warnock, because Warnock was right in Foggy's face and knocked him down. He just drove the blocker back over top of Foggy. You can't complete many passes unless you have protection. Watch Kent Warnock. He came right over the top. You can't throw a football like that.
Kent Warnock, 6'7", 270 pounds. He was on the University of Calgary's Vanier Cup team in '83 and '85. He's nicknamed the Warrior, and he has been pressuring Foggy all day. And Warnock is there again, getting a hand on the throw by Ricky Foggy. And it's 2 and out for the Toronto Argonauts with 8:51 remaining in the third quarter.
Yeah, what's happening here is it's a halfback blitz. It's a good thing they knocked it down from the front side. See Ken Watson come in late. He would have had Foggy had he held on to the ball.
The Stampeders up front with Cofield, Zazakovic, Warnock, and Will Johnson, getting a lot of pressure on quarterback Ricky Foggy. Pee Wee Smith draws a penalty flag as he picks up the football. Argo was inside that 5-yard area. A 40-yard kick, only an 8-yard run back. 8:33 remains in the third quarter.
The grip is secondary to the angle of your wrist and your forearm.
Most of the things that he's telling you are going to be effective for you.
Pitching coach Tom House.
He just told me stay up tall and throw the ball, and, you know, don't let your backside fall.
Respected by those who know.
I'm in agreement with all Tom's theories, and I feel like he certainly has helped me here as far as my longevity is concerned.
I'm probably a school teacher that happens to be in a baseball uniform, and if I've learned anything, it's to try to use words and phrases and do things visually to get my ideas across.
Now you can benefit from the information Coach House utilizes on the major league level. Pitching absolutes, mechanics, strategies, and fielding practice. Fundamental advice to reach your top potential. Order the entire video set now for outstanding savings. 1-800-62-PITCH.
We don't like to sling mud, but it's time to set the record straight at the Jeep Down and Dirty sale, where you can save up to $26.25 on select Jeep Cherokees. Plus, save on Jeep Cherokee Sport with more standard horsepower than Ford Explorer XL, a higher resale value, available four-wheel anti-lock brakes, and although we don't like to play dirty, it's priced $1,500 less. So don't miss the Jeep Down and Dirty sale at your Jeep and Eagle dealer now. And if you're still considering the competition, here's mud in your eye.
There are some people in this country who might suggest that's a good idea, regardless of their feelings about football. But Dan Wicklum was a player that the Toronto Argonauts had been talking about since their game in Calgary on September 15th, when Wicklum drew a spearing penalty for hitting Raghib Ismail, a hit that put the Rocket out of the ball game.
What party's he with?
I think he could run as an independent and not have many problems. Barrett is pressured by Mike Campbell, and he's dropped for a loss of about 6 yards.
Well, if there's a vulnerability to Calgary's football team, it's their vulnerability to the quarterback sack. They're last in the league, and they have a propensity to let people get in on them. Moore gets beat, and Mike Campbell just comes swinging around like he's going around the maypole.
McVeigh comes into the ball game as Mitchell goes out. 2nd and 16. Barrett checking off at the line of scrimmage. He's dropped for another loss. He actually appeared to lose the football and was fortunate that it bounced right back to him.
Yeah, I think you're right, Don. Had he not had to drop that ball, he would have been able to sprint out to the left. It's turn back protection, which means everybody's blocking back to the right, and he was trying to get back over to the left. Leonard Johnson looks like he's down and injured. That turn back protection probably surprised him, but Calgary has to do that. They've got to change their protection about every other play. They can't just drop straight back.
Leonard Johnson is playing a defensive tackle spot for the Toronto Argonauts. He replaces Rodney Harding. This is the second game that Johnson has played that defensive tackle position, with Harding out of the lineup as the result of an injury.
Leonard Johnson's made some big plays in the game today. Yeah, Leonard's coming back over against the turn back, and then he made the tackle. Got help there by Darryl Ford, but it was Johnson's sack.
I talked about some of the problems the Argos have had scoring points in recent games for a team that was expected to be explosive this year. Last week, they were beaten 28-27 by Winnipeg. They beat Winnipeg 22-21 the week before, 25-24 over Ottawa on the 29th of September. They did get 47 points against Edmonton on September the 21st. Penalty flag on the play as the Rocket takes the ball to the 50-yard line. The penalty flag back at the 30-yard line. A 32-yard kick, a 7-yard return.
Yeah, you know, 20 points with the talent they've got on that team, that's not much.
A holding call against Calgary. .7:12 remaining. Calgary holding after the ball was kicked, according to Jacques DeCarry.
Yeah, they don't know whether to substitute or not. That's why he's trying to make it clear.
Holding Calgary 29, first down solid.
The holding call against Paul Clatney. So Toronto will take the ball at the 52-yard line.
Had it been before the ball was kicked, then, of course, they were to get the 10 yards on the kicking situation. This was after, so it's Toronto's football.
Paul Clatney, another valuable member of Calgary's special teams.
Yeah, Clatney just reached out and grabbed a hold of him, and that's a no-no.
Foggy setting up the screen to the pinball. He got to the midfield stripe for a pickup of a couple of yards. Stopped there by Will Johnson.
Johnson's an athlete. You know, he came rushing in on the pass, rushed the passer, came back out, reacted on the screen pass, and Cofield's out there helping him. Very mobile defensive lineman. You want linemen to be mobile, agile, and hostile. I think they've got a few of them on Calgary's front.
2nd and 7 from midfield. Darrell Smith makes the catch at the 45 for a first down. Ken Watson made the tackle.
Well, that's their bread and butter. They got to get the ball to Darrell Smith. He's the best athlete, probably man for man, pound for pound on the field. And as he comes down, he sells the deep route, turns around, catches the football for the first down.
First and 10 at the 45-yard line. Darrell Smith was the Argos' leading receiver a year ago. This season, the Rocket is number 1 among Toronto receivers. Kevin Smelly picks up about 7 yards as he goes off tackle to the 38 of the Stampeders with 5:32 remaining in the third quarter. 27-13, the Stampeders lead the Argonauts.
Well, Smelly's his own blocker. Coaches like a running back that's his own blocker. Yeah, the coaches like the officials sometimes, too. You pat the official on the back, that's good. Mike Levenseller telling him, hey, don't call those holding calls against us.
The toss to the pinball. He reverses his field. Darrell Hall forcing him to the sideline. Good speed by Hall to track him down. A loss on the play. Back to the 44-yard line.
They had such success. Now Michael's down again, but they had great success on the last play, giving the ball to Smelly. So what they did is they tried to fake to Smelly, pitch to the pinball, and when everybody reacted up, he reversed his field. This is what they did. They faked in here, and then they pitched it out, but Clements had to come all the way back. That's a pitch, and watch what he does. He sees that they're coming out on him, and he just turns around, reacts back across the field. I think he's just putting too much torque on that leg. When he tries to cut, he seems to get injured.
Good pursuit, however, by Darrell Hall. He can move for a big man, 6'2", 205, tracking down the pinball and forcing the Argos into a punting situation.
I'm amazed at the speed.
Or actually, it's going to be a field goal, sorry.
The speed of Calgary is awesome. I mean, they make a mistake and they'll make up for it by just their defensive speed. It's the best defensive team that Calgary's put on the field.
A field goal attempt of 51 yards by Lance Chomick. It falls short. Pee Wee Smith in the end zone is going to concede the single point. So with 4:15 remaining in the third quarter, it's 27-14 Calgary in front.
Confessions, fantasies, and private dreams. Now you can try them free. Free. Women's Confessions. Learn the private secrets women hide. Dial 1-900-230-FREE. Try it free. Discover fantasies of romance and love. Dial 1-900-386-FREE. Try it free. Take a peek inside their private dreams. Dial 1-900-847-FREE and try it free. Try them now. Try them all for free. Confessions, fantasies, and private dreams. America's most revealing $15 confession lines with the first minute free. Adults only.
Coming on video cassette. It isn't easy getting a movie this big into a box this small. Arnold Schwarzenegger, T2, coming on video cassette. Ask your video store about purchasing previously viewed cassettes.
You board Korean Air, you enter a world of dedication. With traditions of gentle care that go back for generations, our single purpose is making your trip the best you've ever had. To be the best, that's the spirit of Korea. That's the spirit of Korean Air.
The Toronto Argonauts may be getting to the stage where they'll haul Pinball Clemens out of this game and save him for another week. No specific problem. It's just that the knee that he had arthroscopic surgery on earlier this season continues to take a pounding, and it is very tender. Don?
Might be a wise move for Adam Rita to keep Pinball out of the lineup because he certainly wants him for the playoffs. I hate to lose the Pinball at this stage of the season after having him out of the lineup for a good portion of the year. Eric Mitchell picks up about 4 yards.
Now, you've got a guy like this in your lineup. I mean, you've got to save him for when it counts the most, and it counts the most in the playoffs. And to see him out there, I mean, he's got so much heart that he's going to run himself out of that injury. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to have him hurt it worse. And there's another guy that wants to get in the lineup is Matt Dunnigan.
Barrett passing for Bland. He could not hang on. He was wide open.
Well, that's not where Danny Barrett wants to be. Harold Hallman came right over, just bulldozed him right over top of him. Danny's okay, though. He's used to that. Look at him. He's up and ready to go.
He was probably just a little slow in getting up because he couldn't believe that Carl Bland couldn't make the catch on a pass that was delivered perfectly.
This is a tough thing because watch Hallman come low on him, and quarterbacks hate that. They just hate to be hit around the knees. That's a career injury. You don't want to get hit in the knees.
Mark McLaughlin's punt will bounce out of bounds in the vicinity of the 44-yard line. A 19-yard punt by McLaughlin, and the Stampeders are having their problems with Brent Matich out of the lineup. 3:11 is the time left in the third quarter. 27-14, the Stampeders lead the Argos.
Well, there's our Prime Minister throwing a pretty good block on Reggie Pleasant. Dan Wicklum, subject to some criticism going into this ball game.
First and 10 from the 44-yard line. Darrell K. Smith is open. And he's stopped at the midfield stripe, but not before he picks up a first down. Dan Wicklund is there to make the tackle.
Well, you'll never shut out Darrell K. Smith. He's just too smooth an athlete. As he makes his break, he reacts to the football, drops to one knee, and then comes back across the grain. That's a good way to go when you get all that pursuit and that quickness that the Calgary defense shows.
I think I may have inadvertently suggested earlier that Darrell K. Smith was not the leading receiver this year. He and the Rocket are both over 1,000 yards, with Smith holding a slight edge in total yards. J.P. Escuerdo makes the catch for a first down, stopped by Darrell Hall.
Darrell Hall saved a touchdown. I mean, if he hadn't reached out and gotten a hold of his shoe tops, it would have been a touchdown.
If Hall did not get to him, Escuerdo had the sidelines wide open.
Yeah, Escuerdo's got that flat and up. And he just reached out, swooped around, and grabbed his ankle.
First and 10, Toronto from the Calgary 43-yard line. Fine catch by Massotti. Close to another Toronto first down.
That was a great catch by Massotti, but Alondra Johnson, he went head-on into Dan Wicklum. I mean, Massotti took the ball away, and then those two players collided. They were both going after the football. I mean, they hit head-on. We could hear it from up here.
And Wicklum is still down. Trainer Pat Clayton is out to tend to him. Wicklum, a starting linebacker today. One of the reasons he started at the linebacking position was the Stampeders wanted to go with 6 defensive backs. And early in the game, Wicklund came out with Ken Watson going in, but with the injury to Kenton Leonard, they had to revert to a more basic defensive set.
Well, do you know how important that is? I mean, watch the two linebackers collide. Johnson comes in, and he's going for the football, but he collides with Wicklund, and Ken Watson was in on the picture, too. But that trainer is important. The trainer will go out, he'll talk to you, he'll tell you what's going on. I think that's one of the things that makes those football players trust what's going to happen out on the football field. Those trainers really attend to the situation.
Well, when Wicklund hit the Rocket in the game played in Calgary on September 15th on a punt return, it earned Wicklund a spearing penalty. The Rocket was already on the ground when Wicklund hit him. General Manager Mike McCarthy of the Argos called it a cheap shot. He demanded that Wicklund be suspended. However, CFL Commissioner Don Crump absolved Wicklum of all charges that he hit Ismail with intent to injure.
I think Don Crump was right. You see those plays maybe 10 times in a game. It was a late hit, but he got penalized, and it wasn't a intentional cheap shot with the intent to maim.
First down, Toronto. The ball at the 33 of the Stampeders. 1:21 remaining in the third quarter. Foggy fakes. Throws deep for Williams. Incomplete. Greg Peterson was over to help Carl Anthony.
Carl Anthony got that ball bouncing up in the air. But we talked at the beginning how important Greg Peterson would be. And you can see the range of Greg Peterson. He covers a lot of ground after that ball hits the receivers. And I say both are receivers. He made sure Williams couldn't catch it.
Anthony has done a pretty good job on Williams this afternoon.
Oh, he shut him out.
Darrell Hall is the injured Calgary player, resulting in a delay. 1:08 is the time remaining in this third quarter. 27-14 is the score.
You know, Calgary characteristically has had those takeaway giveaways always happen on their side of the ball, and they've done such a good job on special teams. And I think the key going into the playoffs for Calgary is the players they inserted on their defense.
Darrell Hall last year was the Stampeders' Rookie of the Year. The way they're bending the toe on his foot, it appears to be a cramp more than anything else. Good size for a defensive back, 6'2", 205 pounds. He's also blessed with fine speed.
Well, they got big defensive backs. You got Junior Thurman. You got Darrell Hall. John Candy's a big defensive back. But Uncle Buck is such a great guy with the crowd, and he's been great with the CFL. Now, even he's met and spent so much of his own time on expansion meetings, CFL Board of Governors meetings.
Darcy Kopp comes into the ball game to replace the injured Darrell Hall, who must go out for at least 3 plays. On the second down draw attempt, Kevin Smelly stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Alandra Johnson and Zizakovic brought down the Argo running back.
To see a defensive back over 6 foot is unusual in the CFL, and they've got 3 of them over in that corner with Thurman and Hall and Ken Watson. Those are all 6'2", 6'3" defensive backs.
Lance Chomick has been successful on 2 of 3 field goal tries from 15 and 43 yards. This will be a 41-yard effort. This one is good. So the Toronto Argonauts move within 10 of the Stampeders with 29 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Toronto with a 2-point lead atop the Eastern Division standings. There are 2 remaining games in Hamilton next weekend and here at the Skydome against Ottawa on November 3rd. Calgary Stampeders have a crucial showdown for first place in the West next Sunday against the Edmonton Eskimos, and then Saskatchewan winds up the season in Calgary on November 3rd.
Well, that's the best hand any football player from Toronto's gotten tonight, and it's for John Candy.
One of the Argo co-owners.
The crowd's been a little bit restless. That's the only thing that perked him up, I think, is John walking by. I heard some boo birds out here today.
They were on Ricky Foggy's case earlier in the football game when Foggy had some problems moving the Argo offense. Darrell Hall was out there. Now he's heading to the sidelines, and Dan Wilkham is moving out as part of that Calgary kickoff return team.
I think John's drawn up some plays. He's going to coach him up in this quarter. I think he takes the fourth quarter every week.
Pee Wee Smith takes it at the 20-yard line. Don Wilson prevents Smith from getting to the outside. He makes the tackle at the 29-yard line, limiting the return to 7 yards.
Wally Buono is going to tell Pee Wee Smith when they watch the films this week, go where your blockers are. There was a nice block set up inside, a nice return, and Pee Wee Smith tried to get the corner. Don Wilson said, I got you.
Barrett will be looking for a little better protection on this sequence than he had on the last series. He sends 3 receivers wide to the right. Fakes the handoff to Mitchell, throws to the right. He's got Alan Pitts wide open for a first down. Or pardon me, make that Derek Crawford.
Well, Derek Crawford's got exceptional speed, and we saw him do so much early in the season on kick returns, but he's a good receiver in his own right.
Barrett limping as he goes back to call the next play, and that was the result of a hit from Harold Hallman just as he threw the football.
A low hit again, and that's what Barrett doesn't like. No quarterback likes that.
Derek Crawford on the receiving end of that last throw, lines up this time wide to the left. The pass was over the middle, incomplete, intended for Pitts. And that's the final play of the third quarter here at the Sky Dome. The Stampeders lead by 10.
This is a golfer. He'll play anywhere. Golf Digest magazine helps his game anywhere he plays with instructional articles from top pros. So wherever you play, play better with Golf Digest.
Get a full year of Golf Digest for $19.77. Call 800-453-4300 now and get our free half-hour instructional video with your paid subscription. Call 800-453-4300 now.
So much has gone into the design of Soloflex. Years of refinement, the finest materials, the strongest, most dependable steel, the sleekest, most efficient form. Building in value at every step of design and construction. We know those of you who use Soloflex take pride in your bodies. And at Soloflex, we take pride in knowing that. For a free brochure, call anytime.
Thinking about an Alfa Romeo? Think about 2, the 164 and the Spider. One, a 5-passenger, 140-mile-an-hour luxury sedan. The other, a 5-speed, top-down, hands-on sports car. Why think about both? Because for what you probably thought you'd pay for one, you could have 2. For the test drive of your life, see the yellow pages for an Alfa dealer near you.
Well, the statistics continue to favor the Argos, but the Stampeders have a 10-point lead. They're in front 27-17 with 15 minutes remaining in this battle between 2 first-place teams at the Sky Dome. Barrett facing 2nd and 10 to start the fourth quarter from his own 44-yard line. Crawford goes wide left. Over the middle, good catch by Sean Beals. He'll be about a yard shy of a first down as he was wrestled down by Don Wilson.
Don Wilson did a good job of keeping him from getting across that next yard marker. He knew what it took to get the first down, and he just drove him along that line of scrimmage. He wouldn't let him have that extra yard.
It's close enough for referee Jacques Decarie to request a measurement. It appears from up here as though the Stampeders are a yard short. It also appears, if that is the case, they'll go after it. They're missing their number 1 punter, Brent Matich, and Mark McLaughlin has not exactly been hammering the ball, although it is more than a yard. It's decision time for Wally Buono.
Yeah, all the players are signaling way out. They got their arms way out. Usually, they signal real close inside. Got the 2 hands real close together. This time, they're telling him it's a long way to go. So Wally's going to punt the ball. McLaughlin, I should say, is going to punt the ball. Wally's going to tell him to do it. Big play by Don Wilson.
McLaughlin is the backup punter. His specialty are place kicks. The Rocket on the return. And he gets it back to the 22-yard line. Lou Cafazzo made the tackle, a return of 11 yards. Well, John Candy had been hoping that the Argos would wrap up first place in the East with a win this afternoon. Any celebrations along those lines could be delayed by the Calgary Stampeders, who have played well, and they have designs on a first-place finish, of course, in the West.
Well, Foggy's lack of mobility has hurt him.
Throwing deep for Darrell K. Smith. He makes the catch. He gets away from Peterson. Touchdown.
Now there's a veteran. No boo birds are out now. Darrell K. Smith made one of the nicest reception and runs that we've seen this year. Ricky Foggy pump faked. That was enough to hold the defense. When he put the ball out to Darrell K. Smith, watch the pump fake, then Ricky delivered the ball, took a hit. Darrell K. Smith out. He actually had to out-jump Junior Thurman to get the football, and then he cut back against the grain, and Peterson just couldn't catch him. And he tight-roped down the sideline for the touchdown. That's an athlete.
Lance Chomick adds the point after. And the Argos are within 3 with 13:48 remaining in the fourth quarter.
This guy has excited a lot of people for a lot of years, and he did it when it counted the most. Hey, come on, let's hear it for Darrell K., he's saying. That's a clutch performance right there.
88 yards on this completion from Ricky Foggy. And that puts Darrell K. Smith over 1,100 receiving yards for the season.
Watch him straight arm now. He's, get out of here. Now he pushes him off and he tight ropes. Foggy got back up and he's happy. He's talking to his offensive line. Good protection. He lied a little bit.
So the same folks at the Sky Dome who earlier were fooling Ricky Foggy when he had problems getting the ball to his receivers are up and cheering that 88-yard touchdown pass to Darrell K. Smith.
I think the pump fake helped more than anything because that got Darren Hall, it got all of them settled down, and then when Darrell K. beat Peterson, that's all it took.
Pee Wee Smith from the 15-yard line, or Mitchell, pardon me, on the return. Forced out of bounds by Don Wilson.
And that's the last thing Wally wants to do is to give up any long touchdowns by the defense. They think anything over 20 yards is long. Wally's toweling off now. He said, that's a long touchdown. We don't want to give those up very often.
33,590 watching the action this afternoon at the Sky Dome. 13:42 the time remaining in the football game.
Calgary's defense talks about not giving up big plays, and they think 20 yards is a big play. Well, that was a big, big play.
3 receivers wide to the right. Barrett's in trouble. And the fans celebrate inspired defensive play by the Argos. They have really been putting pressure on quarterback Danny Barrett on the last 3 series.
Well, Davies is doing a pretty good job. He's getting a little help from Bill Henry. Allman doesn't get in there, but it's a coverage sack. Barrett doesn't have any place to go. You're not going to hold up forever. You only have about 3 seconds before you can throw that ball. The coverage was too good.
The fourth quarter has been Calgary's most productive this year. Barrett stepping up, throwing, intended for Crawford. He looked to the official, hoping that a flag would be thrown as he was covered by Reggie Pleasant. But there was no penalty call.
Well, it could have been a penalty. Reggie Pleasant did something that was really smart. He kept looking at the ball and kept playing through Crawford. He kept looking at the football, and the officials bought it. Look at him. He's looking through him. He's looking through him, and he's trying to play the football. The officials said, hey, You're allowed to go for the ball just like the offensive players.
This is where the Stampeders need a big punt from Mark McLaughlin. He stands at his own 21-yard line. And he delivers. Kicking it away from the Rocket. It bounces to the sidelines, and the Rocket is corralled at about the 29. A 40 kick, a 3-yard run back. Calgary leads by 3 with 12:19 remaining.
This is my new Dodge Caravan. Dad says it costs under $14,800. Mom says it's a great deal with air conditioning at no extra charge when you buy the family value package. It's safe, too. With the driver's airbag, rear seat shoulder harnesses, you can even get available built-in child seats. Plus, Caravan has the ultimate guarantee. Your Dodge dealer can tell you all about that. Dodge Caravan, recommended by kids everywhere.
I'm Don. My life was a mess from drugs and alcohol, but the Pond Cove Clinic treated me in just 3 days. I never want to touch drugs or alcohol again. My family's glad I went.
Yeah, right. 3 days.
If you're a drug or alcohol abuser, you know there are no overnight cures. Call Care Unit. Instead of unbelievable promises, you get a personalized recovery program that works for your job, your finances, and your life.
From what you see on the screen, you wouldn't realize it, but the most productive quarter this year for Calgary has been the fourth. They have scored 149 fourth-quarter points this year, and the Argos have been most vulnerable in the fourth quarter, giving up 129 points. They run the reverse with Darrell K. Smith. He steps out of bounds, and there's a late penalty flag up in the vicinity of the 43-yard line. It should be a Toronto first down.
But Darrell K. does everything.
A face mask call against Calgary will improve Toronto's field position.
Major foul, face mask, Calgary 19, first down Toronto.
You got Darrell K. on kick returns. You got Darrell K. catching the football. Now you got him running on reverses.
The face mask call against Carl Anthony, and it occurred when he was attempting to get rid of the block of Dave Williams. Movement at the line of scrimmage, a procedure call on the part of the Toronto Argos.
Procedure, Toronto 54, first down repeated.
Yeah, Blaine Schmidt was trying to come out and set up in pass protection, but you can't do it till the ball snapped, Blaine. A little quick there, Blaine. I know why he's doing it. Kent Warnock is giving him good pressure. Adams not happy about having a 5-yard penalty in this situation. They're at midfield.
Back at the 48-yard line. It's first and 15. The Rocket was underthrown. He was being covered by Junior Thurman. It will be second and 15.
Junior Thurman and the Rocket were bumping all the way down the field. Foggy expected him to continue downfield, and he made a bend to the inside. Nobody's home.
Greg Peterson had been up at the line of scrimmage indicating blitz, and then just prior to the ball being snapped, he quickly backpedaled to his safety position. Second and 15 from the 48. Way over the head of Kevin Snelly. He was being covered by Mark Singer. It will be third and 15. 10:56 remaining here at the Sky Dome as the Stampeders cling to a 3-point lead.
Well, that's not typical Ricky Foggy. In a normal situation, he would have reversed his field, scrambled until somebody got their way open, but he can't move. You can see that he's got that brace on his foot, or arch support. He just really doesn't have the mobility that a Ricky Foggy normally has, and it's thrown his game off.
Kalisic stands at his own 33-yard line to launch this third down kick. He gets away a beauty. Pee Wee Smith back to the 9-yard line. He gets a couple of blocks. He's already returned one for 80 yards. He brings it out to the 31-yard line. Keith Costello made the tackle, a 22-yard return after a fine 53-yard punt by Hank Kalisic. Let's go down to Scotto.
Don, once again, we want to remind our audience that coming up following the game on Sports Weekend, the top Canadian horses, Sky Classic and 1990 Horse of the Year, Vestia, face a strong international field in the Rothmans Limited International. That should go around 4 Eastern time. And coming up tonight on Sports Weekend, Ayrton Senna attempts to win his 3rd Formula One driving title in 4 years, but Nigel Mansell still has a slim chance to win his first championship. It's the Japanese Grand Prix. Check your local listings for the time in your area.
A busy sporting Sunday on CBC television. Crawford on the sidelines, out of bounds at the 46 for a Calgary first down, but a penalty flag will bring it back. The call against Calgary. Brian Warren appeared to be held by Spallettini.
Holding Calgary 27, first down repeated.
And that's confirmed by referee Jacques Decarie.
Now, that's the problem with the turn-back protection. Your backs have to block that rush man. And Tony Spallettini got called for holding on that play.
At the 20-yard line, it's 1st and 20 Calgary. 10-11 is the time left in the football game with the Stampeders in front, 27-24. No choice but to try and run. He got away from the first tackle and runs for about 12 yards before being stopped at the 33-yard line. Brian Warren finally made the tackle, but Barrett did a good job of getting away from the pressure of Mike Campbell.
Well, he sure did. Danny Barrett dropped back to pass. Nobody's open. He saw Hallman coming in. He breaks loose here on Campbell. Darryl Ford missed. And now he's got a 12-yard gain that puts him in pretty good position, 2nd down and 8 instead of 2nd and 20.
Barrett again under pressure, and this time he goes down inside the 30-yard line.
I think the coaches are going to be happy when they look at these films and see Leonard Johnson's play. This guy has been getting pressure upfield on just about every passing situation. Straight drop back. Campbell's in, but Leonard Johnson straight up the middle. He's credited with the sack.
Toronto has registered 5 sacks this afternoon on Calgary quarterbacks Steve Taylor, who started the game, and Danny Barrett. They've been most effective against Barrett. McLaughlin stands at the 13-yard line for this 3rd down punt. 8:57 is the time remaining. Another good kick by McLaughlin. The pinball takes it at the 40, and he is tripped up by the first man downfield, Pee Wee Smith. A 43-yard kick and a 6-yard return.
Nothing captures the magic of baseball better than baseball cards, one of the hottest collectibles going. And now you don't have to trade or buy dozens of card packs to collect all the cards from your favorite team. Now you can buy Topps baseball cards in team sets, complete with the potentially valuable rookie cards. But that's not all. With your Topps team set, you also receive this attractive baseball card album to protect and store your collection. Choose your favorite team and call now. You'll receive a complete 1991 Topps team set and team album for only $14.95 plus $3 shipping. Plus order now and you'll also receive absolutely free the valuable 1991 All-Star set. You get genuine Topps cards with all the players' Major League records on the back, plus the team album, plus the All-Star set, all for one low price. Not available in stores. Call now.
To order your Topps team set, team album, and All-Star set, use your credit card and call toll-free. 1-800-525-1000. That's 1-800-525-1000. Or send check or money order for $14.95 plus $3 shipping to Team Set, Department E, Box 1618, St. Louis, Missouri, 63011. Sorry, no CODs. Call now.
There's something I want to share with you. A little bit of me. To move you. It's the ultimate personal fantasy, and you can try it free. Dial 1-900-646-FREE. That's 1-900-646-3733. For America's hottest $15 fantasy phone with the first minute free. There's something I want you to feel. The closeness of a special friend. A woman's voice so warm you can almost reach out and try the ultimate $15 a call fantasy phone with the first minute free. Adults only.
There are a lot of things that inspire players, but really, could anything make a kick returner go farther and faster than a bowling trophy and a garish CBC shirt? It's the Return to Sender Award, and how good is Willis Jaycox of Saskatchewan? Well, he didn't even play last week, and he still has the lead. The most yardage on kickoff and punt returns. Man to watch in this game is Rocket Ismail, but he'd need an additional half a season to win this Return to Sender Award, Don.
The Rocket is out there trying to get into his pattern, but Ricky Foggy doesn't get an opportunity to throw as Calgary gets a big sack at a critical time in the football game. The Rocket this afternoon with 78 combined yards on punt and kick returns. He's had some impressive games this year. 194 yards as a receiver against Edmonton on August the 21st. In punt return yardage, his best game against Hamilton on September 2nd when he picked up 110 yards. Dave Williams underthrown. He was being covered by Carl Anthony, and the fans react to Ricky Foggy's inability to deliver the football.
Well, he can't go back in straight drop-back protection. They're blitzing the backers. They're one-on-one. They're giving Foggy the pressure. He doesn't have enough room to deliver.
Steve Taylor, who started the ball game, completed 6 of 13 attempts before giving way to Danny Barrett. Dave Sapunjas, the punt returner for Calgary, stopped at the 34-yard line. A 40-yard kick, a 3-yard run back. Blaine Schmidt was the first man downfield for Calgary. Or for Toronto, I should say. Danny Barrett will continue at quarterback for Calgary. One touchdown throw this afternoon as he has completed 10 of 17 attempts. In his return to the Calgary lineup, he dressed last week against Ottawa but did not play. He was injured in the Labor Day game against the Edmonton Eskimos. Wally Buono wanted to get him ready for next Sunday's game in Edmonton against the Eskimos, a game that might decide first place in the West.
Adam Reed is really concerned about his pass protection, picking up the linebacker blitzes.
Screen to Mitchell. With a lot of second effort, Mitchell should have a first down as he fought his way up close to the 45. Stopped there by Chris Munford. Johnson was pressuring quarterback Barrett. He simply lobbed it over his head to Mitchell, and Mitchell fights his way out of a couple of tackles to get a first down up close to the 45-yard line.
Well, you're right when you say fight, Don, because there wasn't hardly any blockers in front of him, and he just got out around him, and he was his own blocker, so we'll be back soon.
Look. Here are the numbers for you to call and try it free. The ultimate telephone fantasy. Fantasy numbers to try for free. Call right now for big girls, yeah. Blonde girls, ooh. Black girls, and more. Call them all and try them free. The maximum telephone fantasies. They're waiting for you right now. Experience America's favorite $15 a call fantasy lines with the first minute free. Adults only.
Coming on video cassette. It isn't easy getting a movie this big into a box this small. Arnold Schwarzenegger, T2, coming on video cassette. Ask your video store about purchasing previously viewed cassettes.
It's time for You Lost Your Lives, the show that proves if you're not buckled up, the loser is you.
That's right, because you could end up in places you never dreamed.
Like traction.
Or the emergency room. Stay tuned.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Leonard Johnson, already credited with 2 quarterback sacks, shaken up on that fine run by Eric Mitchell. He comes out of the ball game, and Bruce Elliott goes in his place.
He's had a good ball game. Leonard Marshall's getting good penetration is what the coaches like. Upfield, inside. You break the bubble. Leonard Marshall has done that. Leonard Johnson.
Pass complete to Mitchell. Mitchell again with a couple of fine moves and very close to another first down. They'll rule that he touched down at the 53-yard line.
You know, it's just like a long handoff. When you get the ball to Mitchell, he makes things happen on his own. Danny Barrett comes out, and he comes back to the opposite side. When he does get the ball to Mitchell, the flow is going away from him. I mean, he doesn't get much blocking, but he's making some good yards.
Second and a couple for the Stampeders. 6:03 remaining in the ball game. Calgary in front by 3. Tony Spolatini gets the first down, driving across the midfield stripe to the Toronto 53.
That's good, tough yardage, and that's what they've improved on. Calgary's had trouble running the football early in the year. Tony Spolatini has won the job over Andy McVeigh, and I think they like his blocking, and they like his short yardage running.
First and 10, Calgary. Bland and Beals head out to the left. Crawford splits right. Good hole for Mitchell. Carl Brazeley is after him. And he manages to slow him down, but not before Mitchell gets down to the Toronto 27-yard line.
Well, that play is strictly a sprint draw, and what they're trying to do, they get Tony Spolatini to do the lead blocking on it. Here's Tony Spolatini. He gets the lead block. It's a sprint draw, and he just breaks it back to the other side. That really gives Calgary another dimension when they have a running back that can break those things out into the open. And watch the stiff arm. Nice straight arm by Eric Mitchell. Calgary's improving on their running attack.
In addition to the run by Mitchell, an objectionable conduct penalty against Don Wilson improves Calgary's field position. It takes the ball to the 17, first and 10. 4:47 the time remaining. Mitchell again. Loses the football. It's recovered by Toronto. Reggie Pleasant grabbed the football at the 5-yard line. That's the second time that Mitchell today has lost the football. That one came out of his arms almost as though it had been punched out. And Darryl Ford may have done that.
Yeah, Darryl Ford came over to the other side, and what he did, he hit that point. And when you hit the point of the ball, it accelerates. It pops the ball out. Watch him come in and just take the point of it right there, and it popped that ball right out into Reggie Pleasant's hands. Big turnover.
4:34 is the time remaining. Reggie Pleasant making the recovery after the hit by Darryl Ford. First and 10. The Argos at their own 5-yard line. Foggy in the end zone dumps it off to Kevin Smelly. He gets the first down. Alondra Johnson takes him down. There's a penalty flag on the play as well. Well, the Argos get new life just when it appeared as though the Calgary Stampeders were ready to drive it in for what would have been a clinching touchdown. And there is also a face mask call against Calgary.
Major foul, face mask, Calgary, first down zone.
Now, the big thing on this play was Ricky Foggy used his mobility. He scrambled a little bit, found Smelly open, and then got the ball to him. That's what made the play work. Alondra Johnson came in, took him by the headgear. That's not very smart.
Ball comes loose. Mark Singer hitting Kevin Smelly, but he had not made the reception. So it goes as an incomplete pass.
Adam Reed has got to be concerned. I saw Will Johnson come in. He tackled the faking back, J.P. Esquerdo, and then ran him into Ricky Foggy. So Will Johnson, in effect, tackled two people, forced a quick throw, and an incompletion.
3:49 is the time remaining. 3 points separating the Stampeders and the Argos. The Argos looking at 2nd and 10. The ball is at the 37. Over the middle for Darrell K. Smith.
John Candy is that's a happy owner, but if you want to have a big play, you got to go to your veterans in the big games, and that's what Darrell K. Smith provided for him. Foggy just threw a simple crossing pattern, and Darrell K. Smith did the rest. As he dumps the ball off, Darrell K. outruns Ken Watson, and then he turns it upfield, got some blocking from his outside receivers.
Greg Peterson took Darrell K. Smith out of bounds, but not before he had moved to the 30-yard line of the Stampeders. First and 10, Foggy looking to run, then tried to dump it off to the Rocket. It will be 2nd and 10.
That's not Ricky Foggy. That's a guy that's injured, that tried to do one thing, and then he changed his mind and tried to do something else. Foggy, on a good day, would have been in the end zone on that play.
We saw Danny Barrett return to the lineup this afternoon. Matt Dunnigan was put back on the injured list until November 16th, the date that would make the pivot unavailable for the remainder of the regular season and the Eastern semifinal if Toronto doesn't clinch first place. However, this year, under a new rule in the CFL, it is possible that Dunnigan could be back for the final game of the season against Ottawa. Foggy's in big trouble. Gets the pass away. Masani makes the catch, but short of a first down.
Well, we said he didn't have his mobility, but I think that's some mobility by Ricky Foggy on that play, even though he didn't get the first down.
Feel the excitement. Sense the drama. Capture the experience of Los Angeles Kings hockey as they drive toward another Smythe Division championship and the ultimate prize, the Stanley Cup. Catch the Kings as they tangle with the New York Islanders. Saturday, live at 4:30, only on Prime Ticket. Watch it.
The power to read. It can open the door to opportunities and make the difference between success and failure. Whether it's getting a better job. Sorry, I can't give you the job until you pass the test. Sharing with your children.
Daddy, can you read to me?
Or protecting your health.
Read the directions carefully before taking.
Reading unlocks a world of possibilities. You can improve your reading. Call the Public Library's Adult Literacy Program. Open up the world today.
Lance Chomick with the field goal attempt that hits the upright, and Chomick can't believe that he missed it. Now, the Argos did something different on that field goal attempt. Tom Porras came in to hold for Lance Chomick. Usually, Paul Massotti holds on field goal tries.
Yeah, and that had something to do with it. You know, you've got to be used to it. Tom Porras couldn't have taken more than, 30 holds during the week. That ball comes through, hits the upright, but you know it takes a good snap and it takes a good holder, and I know that Chomick isn't used to that holder.
Last week against Winnipeg, Chomick with a final play field goal could have won the game for the Argos against Winnipeg. He never got an opportunity to kick as a result of a bad snap. This kick against Calgary that could have tied the game hits the upright. Calgary takes over, leading by 3, 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. Barrett is going to throw deep. His intended receiver, Alan Pitts, stumbled near the midfield stripe.
They were bumping around, and I think Wilson might have gotten some contact with him, but it didn't matter. Yeah, Chomick feels bad about it. I'll tell you who else feels bad. Ricky Foggy ran for his life and got that pass off. But even though he got him in field goal range, the new holder and the old kicker didn't team up.
A delay with an injured Calgary player. Bill Henry is down.
Well, they've had some trouble with Bill Henry. This is the second time he's been injured. But there's a guy on that team. There's an offensive lineman on that team, Lloyd Fairbanks. Today, in this game, breaks the record, or he actually comes in second to Ron Lancaster, 255 career games. But Bill Henry might be in there someday at 255 games. Looks like he's going to be okay. He's walking off the field under his own.
Lou Cafazzo comes in to replace Henry.
Lloyd Fairbanks, he's an institution in the CFL. I mean, 255 games. If a quarterback is the only guy that played more career games, I bet you Ron Lancaster would say Lloyd Fairbanks is one of those guys that's important to protect the quarterback.
He is also the oldest player in the CFL. Second and 10 from the 25. Incomplete, knocked down by Reggie Pleasant. It was intended for Carl Bland.
Well-delivered football. Carl Bland played it perfectly. He made the break when the ball was thrown. Reggie Pleasant made the break, and he knocked the ball down. Two good football players teaming up. The defender won. Reggie's made so many big plays.
He does an outstanding job on the corner for the Toronto Argonauts. And the Argos will get the ball back. And perhaps a chance for Lance Chomick to redeem himself. Good punt by McLaughlin. The Rocket on the return spins away from a couple of tackles. He's going to score.
Called Secretariat, and he could run fast. I got the feeling all this game the Rocket was waiting to get the football in his hands. He never had the ball very often in this ball game, and when he got the football, he made the most of it. He went right up the middle. Hey, he didn't avoid anybody. Right up the middle. Then he put some moves on. Bam! He hit some people, and as he comes to the outside, Reggie Pleasant is the guy that makes this thing work, because look at Reggie Pleasant up here. He got McLaughlin out of the way, and the Rocket is gone all the way for the touchdown.
69 yards for the Rocket. And the fans are still buzzing at the Sky Dome as he puts the Argos in front 30-27 with 1:44 remaining. And that's why Bruce McNall invested the big dollars in the star from Notre Dame, his ability to return kicks, and it pays huge dividends late in the fourth quarter in this very key game against the Calgary Stampeders.
And he does it in big games. The Rockets' kick returns throughout his career have always come when his team needed it the most. And what a return, and what a situation. I mean, they needed some help. They weren't getting it done on offense, so the Rockets said, hey, kick it to me. I'll make something happen. And he's got all of those people in this stadium on their feet cheering the Rocket. He's worth every penny, they're saying.
Lance Chomick to add the point after. And this time Masadi is out there holding, and Chomick puts it through. 31-27. The Argos lead the Stampeders. 1:44 remaining in the ball game.
Well, now Adam Reed he's fired up now. He put Masadi back in. They got that placement. I wonder what happened on the field goal. We'll probably hear about it. Maybe Masadi on the reception was injured, and he couldn't go out and hold for the missed field goal, but nevertheless, it made this even more dramatic. Singer had a chance, can't catch him. And a great block here by Reggie Pleasant on McLaughlin. Calgary's punt coverage is not used to McLaughlin's kicks. They're used to Brent Mattich. So he outkicked his coverage, actually. But when the Rocket got the ball, he went straight up the middle. He didn't try to avoid anybody, made some contact, and then got the touchdown.
The Rocket has the ability to accelerate while changing direction. He doesn't lose a bit of speed when he is shifting one way or the other. At least it doesn't appear that way. Mitchell waits for the ball at the 8-yard line. Mitchell runs into one of his own people. He hit Tony Spallettini, but he managed to get out to the 34-yard line, a 26-yard return with 1:37 remaining. Scott?
Don, one of the Argonaut owners is here to say this is the kind of excitement he had in mind when he bought into this team.
Exactly right.
How about the Rocket? A lot of power on that one.
Oh, wasn't that something? Sensational. Well, that just shows what he's worth, and that's his heart's in every play. I mean, even over here on the sidelines, he was going for an extra couple yards instead of stepping out. He went for another couple yards over here, and they're all playing well. Daryl Smith did a great job. Everybody's playing real well today.
John, I know you've been waiting all season long to see the Rocket return a kick for a touchdown because that was his bread and butter in American college football. Boy, could he have done it at a better time.
Timing, I'll tell you, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, timing's everything, even in comedy and in football, right?
You're darn right. It's working for us tonight. There's a great script we got going here. Let's keep it alive.
Somebody told me you were a tad cranky earlier in this game, but you're feeling pretty good now.
I'm feeling a lot better now. I remember the day in Calgary, so...
Okay, thanks a lot, John.
All right, take care. Thanks for coming up.
Of course, there was so much discussion about the hit that Wicklund put on the Rocket in the game that was played in Calgary on September 15th, won by the Stampeders 33-24. The Rocket may have gained his revenge this afternoon.
I think one of the things that John Candy said that's important is that the Rocket isn't just fast, he's tough. The Rocket will take contact. He'll go up and hit people, and he'll take extra yardage and not try to run it out of bounds. I think John Candy, he knows a little bit about football, doesn't he?
And immediately upon the conclusion of this game, we'll go to Woodbine for the running of the Rothmans Limited International. The favorite is Sky Classic. Bruce McNall, owner of the Toronto Argonauts, has an entry. Bo Sultan will be running under the Sumac stable colors. It comes up immediately following the football game from Woodbine. Thomas comes into the ball game. Graisley goes to the corner in place of the injured player. Darrell Ford intercepts. And that should do it. The ball deflected to Darrell Ford.
That ball bounced right out of Pitts. It hit his pads. And Darrell Ford came across the field to pluck it out of the air. And that looks like that spells the end of the Calgary's drive for a winning touchdown because they don't have the football anymore. Darrell Ford